Hi everybody, it's Mr. D at In the Middle with Mr. D1 at blogspot.com with teaching tips for lesson 17, day 1 of my sight singing program called S Cubed. It's available on Teachers Pay Teachers at Music in the Middle with Mr. D. Now, we've been doing skips. We've been preparing skips for weeks. They've been doing follow the hand. They should be very good and proficient at singing the one chord arpeggio, do, mi, sol, high do, and low sol in any order, in any sequence. But last week, they started reading the skips on the paper. So up until now, we've been having our students count every single line and every single space. They go like dot, 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 very carefully, reading ledger lines and all of that. We've been really careful and methodical in teaching that process. Well, now, we want to begin to teach them shortcuts. And so the written warm-up today is designed to help them begin to see the shortcuts. So they're going to count like they always do, every single line and space. They're going to get the right answers. And then below, I'm going to ask a question like, what do you notice about these intervals? And I kind of hint and push them in the right direction. Thirds and fifths, and then fourths and octaves are similar. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the smartest student in the class, because I want the right answer, to tell me what they notice. And what they're going to say, usually they say, the odd numbered intervals are line, line, or space, space, and the even numbers are the opposite, line, space, or space, line. And that is what we want them to say. So we're going to, if they don't, you push them in that direction quickly, and that will help them see those things and get their eyes to be a little bit quicker. That's what we want. And then we're going to do a group rhythm exercise. Now we're moving into more advanced territory, no new rhythms, but we're going to do 2 parts. Since these are beginners, I'm going to have them do each part unison first, and then I'm going to have them combine them and do them at the same time. And then I'm going to ask them to notice where are the unison rhythms, because this is where we're going to push them later on in the sight singing examples. Where are the unison rhythms? And there are 2 sections where they are the same. And then immediately following that, we're going to play the game with the chromatic scale. And in this lesson, one of the major goals that we're working towards is having them sing the chromatic scale. So after the game, the forbidden patterns in the lesson plan, they're going to actually have to sing the chromatic scale, and I'm going to score the scale, and that's from a lesson that we did previously many, many weeks ago that you'll see in the lesson plans. Maybe I think it's like lesson 4 or 5. 3, 4, 5, where we scored the scale. So we're going to score the chromatic scale today. Now I'm going to give them a choice. Everybody must sign. There's no choice there. They must sign the chromatic scale, but not everyone must sing the chromatic scale. So I'm going to give them a pitch, usually around D or C sharp. Maybe D sharp is okay too. And we're going to have them sing or sign it, definitely. And the ones who are really confident, because we've been working on the chromatic scale for weeks, for about a week and a half, I'm going to have them sing it, and they can sing very softly. We're going to focus on the ear training component. I'm going to tell them to sing really, really quietly so they can hear if they're in tune or not. And then when it's over, I'm going to play the ascending scale is over. I'm going to play the high note and see if they've landed where they should have. And I'm going to give a score from 1 to 10 based on how they did. And then we're going to do the descending scale very slowly, like half notes for each pitch. And they're going to get a score for that as well. I'll check the pitch. Usually the descending scale doesn't go as well, so if you hear some students who are maybe singing who aren't ready to sing the chromatic scale, you just encourage them to really use their ears. It's a great ear training exercise, and they want to score high. They look at the scores of the other classes, they compare. So that's one of the strategies that I use always, and it comes in handy to make them really focus and listen while they're singing the chromatic scale. After we do the chromatic scale, we'll do follow the hand with skips to keep them prepared for the skips that are coming in the sight singing example. And the sight singing example today is going to be all skips focused. There are some thirds and fifths in there, and I use this exercise to reinforce the idea of for this example, it's space, space for fifths and thirds. And then I have a couple of fourths in there so they see that when they go down a fourth or up a fourth, it's going to be opposite space line or line space. So just kind of get their eyes working in that direction, and that's what we've got going for lesson 17, day 1. It's Music in the Middle with Mr. D at teacherspayteachers.com. Hope you have a great day.